Thank you. You guys are very kind. Thank you. Your first comment coming up tonight is one of our favorites in Salem, Oregon, and the world. He's very funny. He's coming up right now. Please do it for Super Trucker Tim. That's right.
I'm Super Trucker Tim, and I drive a Ford Ranger. How's it going, man? I drive a Ford Ranger, and I've been roasted on this stage multiple times by people for its condition. My wife hates it. But the reason it's in such bad condition is, you guys remember that ice storm a couple years ago? Not one, but 2 trees fell on it. And not only that, but a deer hit it. I was parked. Now, normally you hear somebody say, I hit a deer. But the deer hit me while I was parked. It hit the horns, I heard the horns. It's been hit multiple times. It seems to be a magnet for people wanting to hit it. But it's cool because every time it gets hit, I get a check for $1,000. Because insurance cannot pay you less than $1,000. Now the value of it, I had it assessed at $665. So the truck, I don't make payments. It pays me. It's a really good arrangement we've got here. And I can fix anything on it really easy. Now my wife's car, on the other hand, she got this car that keeps your butt warm, keeps your drinks cold, and keeps your back cush. Not meant to be worked on. It has to go to a shop, right? Special shop for everything. So I'm watching a YouTube channel on how to change the alternator. And the guy started in the daytime, and he ended at night. And I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be me. And it was me. And it took all day for me to change an alternator. And the same thing with the battery. You got to take the wheel well. It's ridiculous. So here's how my wife drives. Most cars are rated to the speed they can go from 0 to 60. My wife goes from 60 to 0. What is wrong with you? That's how she drives. It drives me crazy. I've never seen a roller coaster that pulls more G's than my wife's driving. And hey, I'm trying to eat Dave's hot chicken the other day while she's driving. Chicken all over the place, But after I got done fixing her car, I told my buddy, yeah, so I saved my wife $335. And he says, that's great. What did you get? I just thought of this. What did I get? So I started thinking about it, and I brought this question to my wife. Because I said, you're going to spend $335 at the spa. What do I get? And she says, well, what do you want? I said, well, I don't know. How about $335 of extra nookie? Is that cool? And she says, well, how much is that? How many times is that? I said, God, I don't know. So I had to hit the street, guys, to get some estimates. So I went to some place where there's known prostitution. Did you guys know police officers pose as prostitutes? That's entrapment to me. Well, later on I found out that jail is no place to ask questions about nookie. Because there I was told, yeah, well, after I was bored of you, I'd trade you for a pack of smokes and a comic book. I was like, man, this is I'm out of here. So after I got out of there, I found out that there's a whole range of money values, all the way from $20 in a truck stop to $1,000 in Vegas. So I said, you know what, the monetary system is not going to work in a marriage. I need to do this differently. So I said, hey dear, how about we just call it even? Well, I'll get an inflatable life raft, fill it full of green jello, and we'll just go crazy and call it even. Thanks, guys.
Super Trucker Tim, everybody. He's a trucker, and he's a Tim. Have you ever seen all three before? Well, I have.
Hey guys, true story. I was driving my Ford Ranger one time, and I stopped at a crosswalk to let these people go by. And this lady, I don't know what in God's name was on her brain, but she thought, oh, I'm going to punch my way through, and I'm going to cut in front of this guy and get in front of him, and she even was putting these people in danger, and I'm just like, no way, nope, ain't happening. So I went ahead and proceeded, and this lady was so determined to get through that she pushed her way so hard, that I had to go all the way out into the next lane to try not to hit her or have her hit me. So I went out, and she came through so fast and so hard, she blew out my back tire. She hit me so hard. Boom! T-boned me from the back end of my truck, my Ford Ranger. So I pull into this alleyway with a blown out tire. She comes in behind me, pushing her bumper in one of those Coopers, small Coopers. And so anyway, I just said to her, look, lady, I don't want to get into an argument on fault. We know whose fault it was. Just give me $150 for the tire. Here's the receipt. Claim it as a single car collision. It'll be better on your insurance. And she's like, no way. You're paying for the damage on my car. And I said, look, lady, I'm going to tell you right now, if I get the cops involved, this is just going to be bad for you. But no, she insisted. Okay. So I called the cops. Now I tried to give her a warning, because I said to the cop, a couple cops arrived, but I said to the one cop closest, hey, bud, just to let you know, I got an AR-15 in the truck. So he says, oh, cool. We'll have to look at that after we're done here, Tim. Called me by first name. She should have got a clue. Nope, no clue. She tells the cop that I did some crazy Mad Max / Fast and the Furious maneuver and fishtailed her front end and took off the bumper off her car. And the cop asked her one question, and she still didn't get a clue. He said, are you on medication? She still didn't get a clue. Man. Well, anyhow, so the cop takes me aside, and he says her story is preposterous, but there is one thing she did say that I have to address. She said that you said you wanted to keep it off the books, and I need to know why. And I said, oh, fair enough. That's a fair question. And I said, well, it's because I have a CDL, and that's where I make all my money. And my background check through DMV is flawless. So any accident, whether it's my fault or not, is a mark on my DMV background check. And that affects my employment. It's like taking the butter off my bread. So when the cop heard that, oh man, he got mad. And he went over there, and then he came back to me and he says, so I wrote her up $250 for reckless driving, another $250 for not stopping at a stop sign. And I said, oh no, she stopped at the stop sign. And he said, no, I'm pretty sure she didn't. So I said, okay, cool. So then he says, I wrote you a long report, and it explains everything. Just show this to any prospective employers you might have, and this will get you off the hook. It wasn't your fault. Full report. And even when the insurance claim came through, she lied and tried to get out of it. But we submitted the report. I got the money. I got paid $1,000 because the insurance company can't pay less than that. Another time, guy backs into me, smashes in my whole driver's side door when my truck was parked. And he said, well, you were in a fire lane. It wasn't a fire lane. And the cop said, even if it was a fire lane, even if it was on the freeway, you still backed into his car. Therefore, you have to pay an insurance claim. This is an insurance claim. I got another $1,000. And there was a third time, I don't remember the details, it got hit again, and I got another $1,000. So if you hit my car, I'm not going to get angry. I might just come out and give you a big, wet, sloppy kiss and say, hey, thanks, man. I might even bake you a cake for hitting my truck. So I'm happy when you hit my truck. In fact, if a teenage girl hits my truck, I'm not going to get mad at her. I'm just going to say, show me your daddy. The man with the money. That's who I need to talk to. And two guys, so I had to hit the streets, to get estimates, because I don't know what Nookie's going for these days. So I approached these scantily dressed women and said, hey, how much for a little what? And they said, we're not prostitutes. And I said, oh, my mistake. You're just dressed like them. I didn't know this, guys, but if you mistake a woman for a prostitute, did you know you can get punched in the face and maced? yeah, not cool. So guys, to conclude, I'm starting a GoFundMe. GoFund Super Trucker Tim to get Nookie. I'm starting a Nookie account with my wife for, I thought about, you know what, I don't just fix her car. I do a lot of stuff for her, you know. So I need to actually start a Nookie account with all the stuff I do for her. So if you see the GoFundMe, support Super Trucker Tim to get Nookie. Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, I am replacing this alternator right now, and I have to go down to the bottom of the motor. But step one, disconnect the live wire. Make sure the battery has no power. Is step one. Okay guys, this is ridiculous. I gotta take down this splash guard just to get to the tensioner to release the pressure so I can change the alternator on the serpentine belt. It's ridiculous. This is definitely not like working on a Ford Ranger. Okay guys, so I put tension on the tensioner underneath the motor behind a splash shield. Then took the radiator hose off to get to this, and it's got two front bolts, one here and one here. Okay, so remove your bolts from the front, then you got one from the side. All right guys, so once I pull this side bolt out, now the alternator is free. It's now free. I just gotta unplug these cables right here. So guys, there it is. The new alternator, clear at the bottom of the motor behind all these hoses. So guys, I replaced this alternator in this 2013 Dodge Journey, and it was the worst experience ever. There's two bolts in the front, one in the side, two connectors on the back side here, if you can see right down here. But it wasn't that easy. The tensioner is down below, so you got to get down below to put pressure on the tensioner to release the serpentine belt. Terrible job. They don't make these new cars with the idea to work on them. I hate it.